Java lets you define a class inside another class, and it does this in 4 distinct ways, each with its own rules, powers, and, importantly, its own memory behavior. Used well, they make code cleaner. Used carelessly, they cause subtle memory leaks. So in this video, first the kinds of top-level classes, concrete and abstract, and the object root everything descends from. Then the 4 nested classes, static nested, inner, local, and anonymous, when to use each, and the inner class memory trap you must know. Let's go. First, the kinds of classes. A concrete class is fully implemented, and you can instantiate it with new. An abstract class, marked abstract, may contain abstract methods with no body, cannot be instantiated directly, and exists to be extended. It defines a partial template that subclasses complete. And underneath everything, every class in Java implicitly extends java.lang.object, the root of the whole hierarchy. That's where every object inherits to string, equals, hashCode, and getClass. So even a class you write with no extends already is an object. Now, the 4 nested classes, and the key difference between them is their relationship to the enclosing outer class. Static nested, declared static with no link to any outer instance. Inner, meaning non-static, hold a hidden reference to the outer instance. Local, declared inside a method. And anonymous, an unnamed class you implement or extend right on the spot. Let's take them one by one, because when to use each and the memory consequences really matter. Static nested versus inner is the distinction that matters most. A static nested class has no connection to an outer instance. It's basically a top-level class that happens to live inside another for organization, and you create it directly. A non-static inner class holds a hidden, implicit reference to its outer instance, so you can't even create one without an outer object. Note the odd new syntax. That hidden reference is powerful. The inner class can use the outer's private fields, but it's also the memory trap. If an inner class instance outlives its outer, say it's handed to a long-lived listener, it keeps the entire outer object alive in memory, a classic leak. The rule: default to static nested and use a non-static inner class only when it genuinely needs access to the outer instance. A local class is declared inside a method and is only visible there, useful for a helper that's needed in just one place. An anonymous class goes further. It has no name at all. You define and instantiate it in one expression, typically to implement an interface or extend a class for a single one-off use, like an event handler. Both local and anonymous classes can capture effectively final local variables from the enclosing method. And the modern note: for an interface with a single method, a lambda is the concise replacement for an anonymous class. That runnable is much cleaner as an arrow expression. So when do you reach for each? Static nested is your default, a helper that's conceptually part of the outer class but doesn't need its instance, like a node inside a linked list. Inner, non-static, when a helper genuinely needs the outer's live state, like an iterator that walks the outer's data. Local, for a helper used inside exactly one method. And anonymous classes, or better, lambdas, for short one-off implementations like a callback or a comparator. Match the tool to how much of the outer you actually need. Under the hood, each nested class compiles to its own separate .class file, named with a $, outer $inner, and anonymous ones get numbers like outer $1. The gotchas to remember: a non-static inner class keeps its outer alive and can leak it, so prefers static nested. A non-static inner class can't declare static members, except constants. Anonymous and local classes can only capture local variables that are effectively final. And deeply nested classes hurt readability. Keep nesting shallow. Let's name the hidden reference precisely. When you write a non-static inner class, the compiler adds a real field to it called this $0, this $0. That field is an arrow to the outer instance, and it's why the inner can read the outer's private fields. But watch the leak chain. A long-lived registry, like an event bus, holds a tiny inner object. The inner holds this $0, and this $0 points at the whole 50 megabyte outer. So even after you drop the outer, that unbroken chain keeps it reachable, and the garbage collector can never free it. And when a name clashes, you reach the outer explicitly with outer.this, which is just reading through this $0 spelled out. Here's a classic gotcha. Before Java 16, a non-static inner class could not declare static members, with one exception. Why? A static member belongs to the class itself, with one shared copy that exists before any object. But a non-static inner class has no standalone existence. Every inner object is glued to an outer instance, so a static member would have no single owner. The one exception is a static final constant of a primitive or string, because the compiler inlines its value straight into the bytecode, so it needs no storage slot at all. The expert note, Java 16 in JP 395 relaxed this, so inner classes can now declare statics. Interviewers love that version boundary. Now, how does private access across nested classes actually work? The JVM enforces private per class file, and outer $inner are two different class files. So through Java 10, the compiler cheated. It generated package private bridge methods with names like access000 and rerouted every private touch through them. Java 11 fixed this properly with nest-based access control, JP 181. The top-level class becomes the nest host and lists its members. Each member records its host, and the JVM simply allows direct private access between nestmates. No bridge methods, smaller class files, and reflection across nestmates now works cleanly. Watch out for double brace initialization, that trick where you write new HashMap, then two sets of braces, and call put inside. It looks like a neat one-liner, but there are two brace pairs doing two things. The outer braces declare an anonymous subclass of HashMap. The inner braces are an instance initializer block that runs the puts. So this innocent literal secretly creates a whole new class, an extra.class file. And being an anonymous inner class, it carries this $0 to the enclosing object. Store that map in a long-lived cache, and you leak the entire enclosing object. Just use map.of or a plain map and put calls. A quick surprise given all this static versus inner talk. Only nested classes get to choose. A nested interface and a nested enum are always implicitly static, whether you write the keyword or not, and you cannot make them inner. Why? An interface has no instance state, and an enum's constants are themselves static final singletons created at class load, before any outer instance exists. So they belong to the building itself, never to one tenant. They never carry this $0, and writing static on them is legal but redundant. Finally, why must captured locals be effectively final? It's a lifetime mismatch. A local variable lives on the method's stack frame, which is destroyed the moment the method returns. But the lambda or inner object you built can outlive the method. It might be returned or run later on another thread. So Java copies the value into a snapshot field inside the nested object at construction time. Now, if you were allowed to reassign the original afterward, the source and the snapshot would drift apart. The method sees 20, the lambda still prints 10. To avoid two versions of the same variable, Java simply freezes it. That's the effectively final rule. Node objects are captured the same way. The arrow is frozen, but the object it points to can still change. Beyond concrete and abstract, there's a newer class kind worth knowing, sealed classes from Java 17. A normal class can be extended by anyone, a final class by no one. A sealed class sits in between and names exactly which classes may extend it with a permits clause. Each permitted subclass must then choose one word, final to close that branch, sealed to keep restricting with its own permits, or non-sealed to deliberately reopen it. A class not on the list, like hexagon here, is a compile error. And the payoff is huge, because the compiler knows the complete set of subtypes. A switch over them can be checked for exhaustiveness. So you cover circle and square and need no default, and if someone later adds a permitted type, Every non-exhaustive switch stops compiling until you handle it. Runtime bugs turn into compile errors. One more deep contrast interviewers love. A lambda is not just sugar for an anonymous class. An anonymous class is a real class. The compiler emits a separate file, outer.1.class. It carries this $0 to the enclosing instance, and this refers to the anonymous object itself. A lambda emits no extra class file at all. Instead, the compiler puts the lambda's body into a private synthetic method in the enclosing class and plants an invoke dynamic instruction at the creation site, whose bootstrap is lambda metafactory. On the first run, that bootstrap spins up a hidden implementation class and links the call site. Every later run reuses it. Two consequences. A lambda's this is the enclosing instance, not a new object, and a non-capturing lambda is created once and reused, while new runnable braces allocates a fresh object every time. Same look, completely different machinery. How an inner class leaks its outer step by step. The hidden reference keeps the whole outer object reachable. Default to static nested. A decision tree. Need outer state to inner. One spot used to local/anonymous/lambda. Otherwise to static nested. Now the mistakes to avoid, straight from the field. Beginner using an inner class when static nested works, inviting the hidden reference leak. Intermediate registering inner class listeners and never unregistering to outer never collected. Advanced anonymous classes where lambdas belong. Deep nesting that kills readability. Interview questions on this. Rapid fire. Static nested versus inner. Static nested has no outer link. Inner holds a hidden reference and can leak it. Why prefer static nested? No implicit outer reference. No accidental leak. What can anonymous/local classes capture? A factibility final locales. Lambda versus anonymous class. Lambda equals functional interfaces only. This equals enclosing, invoke dynamic. A non-class equals any type. Own this separate .class. And what most tutorials never tell you. The leak is real and common. Android's classic leak was an inner class handler outliving its activity. Lambdas is not equal to anonymous classes under the hood. Invoke dynamic. No class file. No forced outer capture. Let's slow down and really build this up from scratch, one piece at a time. Every class implicitly extends object. The root that supplies to string /equals/hashCode. Concrete equals instantiable. Abstract equals extend only. Here's how it flows on screen. Concrete class fully implemented, new able. Next, abstract class partial template, extend can't new. Next, java.lang. Object to string equals hashCode get class. Next, implicitly extends. Next, implicitly extends. Trace the arrows on screen slowly. That single picture is the whole idea in one glance. Now, the part candidates ask for most, what real companies actually probe on this topic, based on public interview reports, not official statements. All product and service companies reported static versus non-static. Inner, nested classes, why an inner class holds a hidden reference to its outer instance, and the memory leak that causes an anonymous classes versus lambdas. Follow up. Why can a static nested class exist without an outer instance, but an inner class can't? Amazon Google reported the inner class outer reference leak in long-lived objects, and when to prefer a static nested class. Here is how the same answer is graded, from weak to excellent, so you know exactly what an interviewer is listening for. Question static nested versus inner class. Difference, and when does it matter? Weak. One is static, one doesn't. Good. An inner class needs an outer instance. A static nested class doesn't. Excellent. A non-static inner class carries an implicit reference to its enclosing instance, so it can access the outer's fields but can only be created via an outer instance. And that hidden reference keeps the outer object alive as long as the inner lives. A classic leak when the inner, e.g. a listener handler, outlives the outer. A static nested class has no such link, is self-contained, and is the right default unless you genuinely need the outer state. Impress. Note anonymous inner classes have the same capture and leak behavior, and lambdas are lighter and don't capture this the same way. Red flag. Not knowing the inner class pins its outer object in memory. Your cheat sheet. Every class extends object, concrete, new, versus abstract, extend. Static nested equals independent default. Inner equals hidden outer ref, leak risk. Local equals one method. Anonymous equals one off to lambda. Each nested class to own.class. Capture rule equals effectively final. And the memory trick. Static equals standalone. Inner equals invisible arrow to the outer. Quick check. Which nested class can leak its outer instance and why? The non-static inner class, because it holds a hidden reference to the outer object. If the inner outlives the outer, say it's registered as a long-lived listener, the entire outer object stays in memory. That's why you default to static nested. Quick favor. If this is useful, subscribe and turn on the bell. New videos and daily updates. Everyone 0 to deep. Now the recap. Let's lock it in. Every class extends object. Concrete classes can be instantiated. Abstract classes are meant to be extended. The four nested kinds. Static nested is independent and your default. Inner holds a hidden reference to the outer, so use it only when you need that state. Local lives inside a method. And anonymous is a one-off, often better as a lambda. Each nested class compiles to its own.class file, and a non-static inner can leak its outer, so prefer static. That's classes and nested classes completely. If it delivered, like, comment, and subscribe with notifications on, new videos and daily updates. Everyone 0 to deep. Next up, generics, type safe, reusable code. This is Codivora, engineering explained. Keep building.